Hitler and his generals feverishly drafted their plans for the conquest of Britain. Every detail must be anticipated. A slip now might wreck the whole timetable of world conquest. 6 weeks of final preparation went into those plans. 6 weeks to determine the history of 1,000 years. The thing was foolproof. See for yourselves how simple the whole operation was to be. Look.
German plan for invasion of England. Phase 1. Knock out the Royal Air Force and its bases. Get control of the air and the sea lanes across the channel. Follow the Blitz plan that had wiped out Poland, the Low Countries, and France. Destroy communication and transport lines. Above all, get command of the air. Phase 2. Pulverize the coastline with dive bombers. Drop parachute troops to take over the airfields and establish beachheads. Phase 3. Actual invasion. Pour the German panzer divisions across in high-speed barges under an umbrella protecting fighter planes. Then send spearheads of armed might to divide, surround, destroy all opposition. That's all there was to it. Conquer Britain. Force the surrender of the British fleet. Then, with the combined sea power of Germany, Britain, Italy, France, and Japan, he could control the seas and tell us where to head in. The torch of freedom flickered low.
Eine wahrhaftige Weltmann-Showspotter sein. Und zweitens, Sie wollten, Herr...
Stop thinking and follow me, cried Hitler. I will make you masters of the world. And the people answered, Heil! Heil!
Whenever I hear anyone mention the word culture, the first thing I do is reach for my gun. Yes, they had the answer. The blackjack and the gun.
Their leaders told them that they were supermen. Herrenvolk, the Nazis called it. The master race, destined to rule all other peoples on Earth. Take a good look at these humorless men. These were to be the rulers of the ruling race.
Leben, auch ihr bürgerliches Dasein ist gesichert in diesem nationalsozialistischen Staat.
Obey us blindly, and you will attain your rightful place in the world. All other people will be your slaves.
Here's the Germany Hitler walked into, and here's what he wanted. First, Europe under his complete political or economic control, leaving Mussolini a share of the loot if he behaved himself. Then the drive to the east, through the rich oil lands of Iran and Iraq, into India. Another push south through Africa. Then from Dakar, jump off to meet the honorary Aryans who were to move in on South America through the Pacific. At the same time, start across from the Scandinavian countries to hook up with his buck-toothed pals coming over from Siberia to join in the conquest of the United States.
They exacted complete control, often by force. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most ruthless dictators. For this list, we've chosen some of the most notable and brutal dictators in history, and have ranked them based on the ruthlessness of their crimes. Number 10, Kim Jong-il. Like his father before him and his son after, the eccentric Kim Jong-il ruled North Korea strictly and with a strong personality cult. His was apparently one of the world's most repressive governments, with poverty-stricken residents isolated through restrictions to practically everything. Between the starvation, executions, and forced labor, some estimate the deaths attributable to this supreme leader in the millions, and that's without mentioning the nuclear program. Number 9, Francisco Franco. Spain was ideologically divided when Franco attempted to overthrow the left-wing government. With support from Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy, the nationalists won the ensuing bloody civil war, and Franco assumed power. Murder and suppression of language, culture, and more kept El Caudillo in office almost 4 decades. And while the regime eventually softened and a democratic turnaround surged after his death, the repercussions of Franco's actions reverberate today.
Un Estado totalitario armonizará en España el funcionamiento de todas las capacidades y energías del país.
Number 8, Mao Zedong. This communist leader became a savior to many by founding the People's Republic of China, and by leading his people through industrial and cultural revolutions and the Great Leap Forward. Though China's transformation into a superpower is revered, critics suggest the cost of these initiatives in human lives ranged between 40 and 70 million due to famine, murders, and forced labor, cementing Chairman Mao's place as a polarizing figure. Number 7, Benito Mussolini. Portrayed as the only man capable of unifying Italy and restoring order, Il Duce disassembled the democratic system, transformed the country into a one-party state, and seized power with his fascist party. Militia and secret police met political foes with aggressive force or executions, while Mussolini expanded the Italian Empire by colonizing African countries. But it was his misguided partnership with Hitler that ultimately led to his spectacular downfall. Number 6, Saddam Hussein. Once called the world's most dangerous man, Saddam was one of the few dictators tried, convicted, and executed for his crimes. Though his unparalleled social programs were hailed, he executed dissidents, slaughtered the Kurdish population, and used oil and power as justification to invade neighboring countries. This triggered wars, unrest, and uprisings, and later, false allegations about weapons of mass destruction eventually led to his ruin. Number 5. Muammar Gaddafi. Shortly after becoming Libya's ruler, Colonel Gaddafi exacted his influence by making opposition to his regime illegal, among other measures.
This mad dog of the Middle East has a goal of a world revolution, Muslim fundamentalist revolution.
Suspected of crimes against humanity, the Mad Dog of the Middle East established extensive surveillance of his people and became increasingly wealthy as the poverty level rose. Despite his indiscriminate murder of rebels during the Arab Spring, discontented Libyans fought back and the brother leader was deposed and killed.
The Libyan people now have a great responsibility to build an inclusive and tolerant and democratic Libya that stands as the ultimate rebuke to Gaddafi's dictatorship.
Number 4. Pol Pot. Following his ascent, Pol Pot attempted to return Cambodia to its rural roots by forcing city residents to toil on collective farms. Though it held power 4 years, Pol Pot's communist Khmer Rouge party caused approximately 2 million deaths with politically motivated murders, torture, forced labor, disease, and food shortages, the victims of which were buried in the killing fields. He clung to nominal power until his 1998 death. Number 3. Idi Amin. Military background and charisma served Amin well as he overthrew the Ugandan leader and became self-proclaimed president for life. His brutal 8-year reign was marked by economic breakdown, political authoritarianism, corruption, human rights violations, ethnic cleansings, mass murder, and rumors of cannibalism by the leader himself. By alienating his followers with unpredictable behavior, the Butcher of Uganda ensured he ended his life alone after being ousted and exiled.
The whole world are looking at General Amin and Uganda as a whole. What will be the future of Uganda? The people are looking at this.
Number 2. Joseph Stalin. After serving under Vladimir Lenin, this man of steel became Soviet dictator by discrediting and eliminating rivals. The communists' aggressive industrialization killed millions due to famine, murder, and gulag camps. But the Great Purge was the darkest period when citizens were deported, incarcerated, and randomly executed. Though he helped defeat the Nazis in World War II, this paranoid man's influence was erased after his death with a period of de-Stalinization. Number 1. Adolf Hitler. As German Chancellor and leader of the Nazis and Third Reich, Hitler made his motives clear when he made the Nazis the only legal political party and used suppression, propaganda, and death to quash opponents. By annexing countries, triggering World War II, and initiating a Holocaust of Jews, Gypsies, communists, homosexuals, and the handicapped, Hitler caused tens of millions of deaths and committed some of the worst atrocities in human history. Who do you think have been some of the most ruthless dictators of all time? For more informative top 10s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.